Hey traders, welcome back to another live trading video. Today we're taking a look at USD CHF, and I just picked up a long position, and in this video what we're going to do together is we're going to walk through the trade start to finish. You can see at any point in this video on the right hand side of the screen my orders. So I am long 131,000 units. By the way, this is 1.31 lots. If you are unfamiliar with the unit scale, it's just the comparison ratio is always just going to be 131,000 equals 1.31 lots. So anyways, I have a stop loss in place. I have my entry, and what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to break down why I took this trade, as well as watch it play out with you guys here on YouTube, whether it is a win or a loss. So I just took this a few moments ago. We are currently just about break even, up $100 on the trade. And here's basically the idea behind the trade. The dollar Swiss has been in a nice little upward trend. And if we look at the higher time frames, what we'll notice is that the 4-hour chart has been doing this nice little trending pattern where, you know, each time you can see we've been putting in these higher lows and continuing to trend higher. So from a simple technical analysis scale, we've been seeing that. And then we also actually retested this trend line here this morning and found some pretty strong buyers in this area. Now then what I wanted to do is I was like looking at this and I was like, wow, I kind of missed the move here. But then intraday, it seems like we got a bit of a pullback, and this was kind of my chance to try and pick this thing up long. I noticed that we were coming down into this zone after breaking through it, right? So this little line, if I draw this from a technical scale, was kind of getting tagged once again. And I decided, okay, on this re-entry opportunity, I think I'm gonna go long. And so that's kind of my intraday entry on something on the higher time frames that I'm just interested in buying. So I have actually been trading this thing recently. I've made some pretty good money on this. I bought it. You can see my orders, the little blue and red arrows. I bought it over here. I sold it over here. I bought it here, lost money in this candle. I rebought it and then closed it over here. And now I am back for another trade to see if I can catch a swing to the upside on this pair once more. Now, ideally, what I'm looking for technically is a move back up to the previous highs. And of course, that level has been hit a couple times recently and found resistance, but we've kind of just been in this range, and it's an asset that I overall want to be long on. Speaking of why I want to be long on it, again, of course, technicals look decent, but maybe just importantly, or if not more importantly for my trading, I use the Edge Finder, which is a market scanning tool that allows me to find setups. And what we can do here is we can pull up any pair we want. You can see all the different ones on the left, but I'm focused today specifically on dollar Swiss. And when we look at dollar Swiss franc, what we can see is we get a +3 score. And what I really liked about this is from an institutional perspective, if we look at the dollar and the Swiss franc in terms of the futures market, the CFTC puts out a weekly COT, or Commitment of Traders, report that gives us an inside look at what those big players are buying and selling. And when we look at the dollar, you can see that they are very net long, and that on the Swiss franc, they are very net short. So that by itself kind of adds a little confirmation. We also have a nice momentum push to the upside, which is also being shown on our forecast chart. And then a couple other key metrics. For example, like if we take a look at the month of October, which is the month we're in currently, we just started into the new month. This historically is supposed to be a pretty positive month for the dollar Swiss franc. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's guaranteed to be, you know, going up the whole month or anything like that, but it's a nice little extra indicator to know, historically speaking, which months are more positive or negative for the pairs that you're trading. Just adding those extra things can help swing the market's favor in your direction. So there you go. That's a little bit of the breakdown. If you would like to get access to the Edge Finder, it will be linked down below in the description. You just find it down there. It's our market scanner, and you can get access there. I've also just shared this trade alert inside of the private Discord channel, which I share all of my trades there. So if you're interested in that, the link for that will also be in the description below. So with every trade, I like to share a full breakdown, you know, the full Edge Finder description, as well as why I'm taking this trade. So overall, from a fundamental perspective, some key notes here are that the dollar remains favorable risk-off asset, a favorable risk-off asset in this whole recession looming, you know, global economy drop-off situation that we've been seeing. Inflation around the world quite high, and the Fed remains incredibly hawkish, raising rates, and, you know, their forecast to continue to rate hike so long as they need to in order to get inflation under control actually pushes the dollar overall to the upside. So I'm kind of trying to play off of that fundamentally, and then from a technical perspective, we already broke that down. So what I'll do now is I'll pause the video, give this some time to play out, and come back once things have moved a little bit on the pair. All right, guys, so dollar Swiss has moved higher here on the NFP numbers that actually came out today. And I was actually able to trail my stop loss into profit. So we officially have no longer any risk on this trade. Now I'll show you guys, I moved my stop loss here just below this level of support that we hit prior to NFP. So here's the NFP spike as we speak. I went live here this morning, and maybe we'll roll a clip actually from the live stream of when the spike happened. You can see the dollar Swiss franc shot to the upside there. It was quite exciting to watch. So check it out. It is in fact NFP day. I hope everybody is looking forward to the news. I would say excited, but I want you guys to be careful. Of course, with NFP, a lot of people blow a lot of money because they trade, kind of crazy. They'll trade the spike. So don't trade the spike. In my personal opinion, that's just not the way to do it, because trading the spike, you just get massive spreads and the market can go either way and, stop you out on both sides. I've seen everything under the sun. There've been, sometimes people, what they'll do, let me pull up my pen here. Sometimes what people will do is they will go ahead and put pending orders on both sides of the market, right? So they'll say, hey, you know what? I'm looking at the dollar, and if the dollar goes up, I'm going to buy. And then if the dollar goes down, I'm going to sell, right? And it's not like a terrible, thought process per se. But let me just warn you guys about the downsides of this. It is very possible that your broker, not that they're evil or anything, they're just covering themselves, they will widen spreads prior to a major news announcement. If you ever notice, if you ever pay attention to your spreads, try taking a look at them today when you're watching NFP. The spreads on almost universally all brokers will widen prior to a major news event. This is just them protecting their assets. They have millions and millions of dollars on the line. They don't really want, to get smothered by a bunch of retail traders who are, long on something and it flies higher and they all want withdrawals on the same day, right? So what they do is they widen the spreads, and that's completely understandable. If you were the broker, you'd probably do the same thing. So they widen that spread, which makes trading the spike really risky, because then you're sitting there and you're saying, okay, well, what if it just does this? It spikes this way and spikes this way and spikes this way and spikes this way and spikes this way in the matter of seconds. Well, what happens? You get triggered into a buy. It comes down, you get stopped. You get triggered into a sell, it flies up, you get stopped, right? So this has happened more often than you might imagine. Very often what people try to do is they'll try and play pending orders on both sides of the market, and then the spread gets them, right? So be very, very careful with trading the NFP spike itself. If that's something that you're interested in, I can't tell you what or what not to do, but of course, just be very, very cautious. Okay, so now it leaves us with why we trailed stops, etc. So dollar Swiss here on the 4-hour chart is now entering the top of our range, which was ultimately my goal here with this trade, to get us back to this area. So at this point, that's great. That's a great start to the trade. But now the question becomes, well, what now? Do we sell because we've hit resistance? Well, maybe a first response would be, of course, just sell it because it's at resistance, or close it because it's at resistance. But the problem with that is that in an uptrend, right? We talk about this often on my channel. When you come into an uptrend, right? Resistance usually is expected to actually get broken. So if we just closed out, let's say we bought this move, let's say we bought this move right here, right? We bought this, and as soon as it started coming into resistance, we closed, right? Well, we might have just missed so much, because each time it comes into resistance, yes, it might pause, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it can't break out higher. In a strong uptrend, you actually expect resistance to continue to break, right? So you're not just going to get scared and sell just because, or close just because you've hit resistance. The goal is to try and let a winner run and wait for this market to actually show signs of reversal before trying to close out of a trade. So that's at least how I'm approaching this. As we come into resistance, I'm acknowledging that yes, sellers could get strong here and cause a reversal, but I'm not a big fan of trying to call the top of a move. So my goal here is just to let this thing run. I know what I'm going to do if I'm wrong, or if I see this thing reverse, right? If this thing breaks through support, we're out. And if this thing breaks higher, as it seems to want to try to do, then we'll look to trail stops behind this market structure upon a close above the recent high, right? Hopefully that makes sense. That's my thought process here. Again, yes, I'm trailing pretty loose, and if this thing comes all the way back down, I know I'll be sitting there saying, oh, I shoulda, woulda, coulda closed, but I have a strategy. I've stuck to it for years, and this is how I approach this. So I'm looking to see, the question mark of the day is, can we in fact break through the highs and see a continuation move? Yes. Okay. we'll trail stops. No, we fail back underneath here. Okay, take my profits and move on. So there you go. That's the update on the trade. We'll pause and give this some more time to play out. All right, guys, so a quick update on my USD CHF trade. You can see things have actually been able to clear the highs, and we're looking like we're in a pretty good spot. So overall, the trade is currently floating just about $2,000 in profit, and we have officially broken above the previous high. Now, this was kind of my goal with the trade, was to see if we could get back to the previous high. And as we speak, you can see like we have closed on the hourly chart pretty nicely above it. So at this point, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and trail my stop loss and lock in more profit on this trade. Now, if this trade continues to fall, what I would be okay with is letting the trade kind of come back into this area and possibly find support there. But if it starts breaking this level of support, that would be sort of a point at which I'd like to go ahead and close the trade. So what we'll do here is I'm going to trail my stop loss here. So I'll just drag this up and we're going to lock in about $1,160 on the trade. Click modify. And there we go. So now the trade is all set up. So what we've done here is we are floating about $1,900. If price comes down here, again, I'd like to see this area react pretty strong. I'd like to see buyers push this price back off this high after breaking out and retesting. If it does end up retesting, that's fine. I just don't want to see it break underneath the structure here. So there you go. That's my update on dollar Swiss. I'll go ahead and update members inside of the Discord channel, and we'll go from there, and I'll pause and come back once things get moving again. Okay, guys, and we are all out of USD CHF for a grand total of $1,376.58. At least on the trade itself, you can see what ended up happening is price came back down to that level and actually broke underneath it. Now, I don't think I filmed this recent update here just a little bit ago. I actually trailed stops just behind market structure here. So we came down in the early portions of the New York session and found buyers right off there. And I actually ended up, after that rally, putting my stop loss just beneath there. And so I might have saved myself a couple $100 on that particular trade. As you can see, this is where I got executed for my 131,000 units closed at 99,418. So overall, a very profitable trade. We caught the move from here. Wasn't the perfect entry, yet still was able to trail out a pretty good profit and jump out when the trend is looking like it has potential to reverse here. Now, I might not be done with dollar Swiss. I might get another chance to enter this trade long or make some more money in the future. But for now, it's showing signs of a breakout to the other direction. So this, for me, is my rules to go ahead and close the trade and lock in my profit of just shy of $1,400. Now, here's the thing. With additional swap carry. Now, the dollar Swiss, when you hold it long, you actually get paid a positive swap for rollover or swap holding overnight. This is called the carry trade in the Forex market, and it is something that is very popular and allows you to collect positive swap. Now, if you've ever had your broker deduct you swap or credit you swap on your account, then you may be familiar with what I'm talking about. But you can see these little order executions where I'm getting paid small amounts of money for holding on to a trade overnight. So overall, that brings me just about $1,400 on this trade. Dollar Swiss, nice move overall. And of course, members inside of the group were able to watch this from start to finish. If you're not already in the Discord and you would like to get these trade alerts sent directly to your phone or to your desktop, then make sure to join the Discord by clicking the VIP link down below in the description. And if you use that promo code at checkout, you'll get a discount off of your membership to join us. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time. It looks like you made it to the end of one of my videos. Thank you so much for supporting my content. It really means the world to me. And down below in the description, I've put together some of my best resources for aspiring traders who are looking to improve. I've got some free downloads that could help you, some broker recommendations, and if you'd like to join our Discord or get access to some of our trading software, all of that will be linked down below in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.